got the Texans Fan Better Podcast.
Jeff Bridge, Fifth Ward Crenshaw.
You know the best out there.
Keno, Vote Diggity 713.
To all my Texans Nation. If you feeling good, I want you to throw them H's up high. Yeah, like that. I see you. Let's swarm. Yeah, Houston, Texas, born and raised. Yeah, that's where I'm from. The best city in the state. Yeah, we stay turned up. There's excitement in the air for the Houston Texans. We swarming all year, causing havoc, we wrecking. Coming off that edge, we got 5-5-1. Thing on the outside, locking down your number one. All about the swarm mentality. And the H, standing on business is the way we operate. I rep that 7 like CJ, that 1 like Diggs, that 3 like Dale. H-Town, we doing it big, you know that 12 out here. And don't you never forget, better pick your poison, cause we got Joe in the midst. We rock that battle red, still blue, Liberty white, H-Town blue, drip galore, man, we so fresh, fire like the field. Shout out to the whole squad, chasing greatness. Eyes on the prize, one goal, it's time to take it.
Let's get it.
Throw them H's up, throw them H's up, now you throw them H's up, throw them H's up, we throw them H's up, throw them H's up, let's show love for them Texans, cause them Bulls about to perform. Throw them H's up, throw them H's up, now you throw them H's up, throw them H's up, we throw them H's up, throw them H's up, let's show love for them Texans, cause them
Welcome back to the Texans Fan Battle Podcast. I'm your host today, Matthew Briggs. Guys, we have a special episode for you guys. Before I introduce our guest, let me introduce my team. First off, I got my A1 since day one. I got Mr. Crenshaw in the building.
Shit. What's up?
And obviously, he's from the phone. That's why you're seeing the forward symbol. But I got my boy Keno that needs the message to be heard. Ken's the message. What's going on? Oh, I thought I did. Well, look, there's never a show without any technical difficulties. So let me introduce my guest tonight. He's from the Off the Cuff podcast. He's been saying some stuff about the Texans, so we had to come on and speak for his crimes. Right now we got Mr. Charlie, and we will have Grant later on, hopefully. Charlie, what's going on, brother?
Howdy, man. It's a pleasure. I'm glad to have you on here. And you know, it's funny. I'm not unknown for a bit of going outlandish with my takes. You know, sometimes I'm gonna have to walk a few, back to reality. Some things that I think may have been taken out of context. I do my best to not back away from anything I say, but yeah, things I say are based in logic, although some may think I'm a little bit crazy.
I mean, we all say some crazy things from time to time. I mean, Crenshaw is one of the most hated fans in Texas Nation, so he should be there on that. But before we get into it, Charlie, you're trying to tell us about the podcast and about your fandom.
Well, me here and my friend Grant are two members of the 4. We started this show this summer because we're followers of the league, at the end of the day. And when you sit around talking ball all day, like any random show that gets sprouted up, but I think we've got something special. And, you may think, oh, everyone's got something special, but we've got a good chemistry, and I think we're all experienced, and we all kind of know enough of what we're talking about to put on a good show. And I think it's worth listening to. You'll hear from Grant here in a second, but we go around the league. I'm a Jaguars fan. Grant here's a Buccaneers fan. The two members that are not here with us are also Jaguars fans, but we try to make our show kind of covering the entire league. And when we talk Jaguars football, we try not to talk bias, but let that not be misconstrued. I'm the crazy Jaguars fan that probably doesn't even represent the Jaguars fan base. I think if you ask Jaguars fans, there's a cautious optimism, but there's not a lot of people saying, oh, the Jaguars are going to be this or that, but me. So that's kind of the best I can do as an intro of kind of where I'm at right now.
All right. Well, before we get like into it, we'll kind of call you out on some of the takes that we saw.
Yeah, and I probably need to be, like,
Yeah,
it's not
we need to hear it, right? So
right.
Joe Mixon not that good this year.
I knew that was
Like,
coming. I was
bro,
hoping that was coming second, I'll be honest.
like that is criminal.
So
Joe
I
Mixon
was
not
telling
being
Grant,
good.
like, I thought we might have been talking a little fantasy ball, but I
Okay,
will
now,
be
okay.
let me
Now you're
admit,
talking about fantasy. I give you that, but
the clip was a fantasy. So, like,
okay,
let me say, I'll admit, when the Houston Texans signed Joe Mixon, I was like, "Eh." And going into last offseason, I thought the Stephon Diggs signing was really not what they needed. I thought it was, let me say the word, stupid. And it's not because Stephon Diggs isn't good. I don't think they needed him, especially what they were doing, bringing in Slowick, and they already had Tank Dell, in the mix. I love Tank Dell. I didn't think Stephon Diggs fit whatsoever. And I will admit, I threw Mixon in that category. I was like, man, Texans are acting crazy. Like, I didn't like what they were doing. So my biases with Mixon, I was like, I'm not impressed. What impressed me was Mixon in the playoffs. So I can't in good faith go around saying Mixon is bad, although that is what the clip said. I will defend though. I thought we were talking a little fantasy ball, which is super lame, but I think it's what we were talking about. And in that case, I'll stand by my take and it kind of there.
no,
Because
I
he
get
didn't
it,
do
but
anything down the stretch. You know what I mean? He did get hurt.
right. Say what you said. That's two hip drop tackles that didn't get called. I'm just saying,
Mhm,
they're supposed
mhm,
to be stopping these hip drop tackles, and
mhm.
yet he got hurt on two of them. But it's not just you though. It's crazy. Uh, for some reason, it's the Jaguars fans, right? Like they,
There's other Jaguars fans that are talking crazy about Joe Mixon.
yes, all over. They're saying he's mid, and I'm sitting here like, do you not know he got hit 50.8% of his snaps behind the line, and he still got 1,000 yards with missing 6 games? Like that's pretty special. You know what I mean?
I
So
believe that. I believe
we
that. If you look at what he was doing, especially like early in the year and then down the stretch, Joe Mixon was playing like a top end running back. So I'm not here to disagree with that, which is funny. I hate that the clip was out there. Sometimes clips make good clips.
but and also like everybody wants to point out the offensive line when it comes to CJ Stroud, but never want to point out the offensive line when it comes to Joe Mixon. Yes, the passing was bad, but the run blocking was even worse. So
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
definitely two sides of the same coin for sure.
right. So I just thought I was like, man, come on now.
And I'm not going to try not to walk it back completely because I think there is questions about can the Texans establish a run game with this new offensive line. And I'm curious what do you guys think? Are Texans fans sold on this new offensive line project? Because there's a lot of people, and I'm sure you've heard it, people talking crazy about the Texans offensive line. I This is one of the things I do think with I think some logic here. The Texans had to make a move on a revamped offensive line. They had no choice. The question is it going to work? Are they going to be able to have a run game, protect CJ Stroud, all that?
Ken, I'll let you start off with the answer.
Yeah, so as far as with the O line, I think when it comes to me and Matt, we just kind of like sitting back and let's see what happens. Let's see how this goes. As far as our expectations, we know we're gonna go as far as our line take us. If our own line is trash, might still win the division, but we won and done in the playoffs again.
And the way it
So
has been, absolutely.
yeah, so but if they good, then who knows how far we can go. So I really don't have. I'm not worrying. Like I kind of feel like it's a new system. Let's see what Kaylee got, and also we have an offensive line coach back in the building. Of course, he was there last year. It's some feel like man, what was going on last year? Like why they were looking how they were looking last year? If he was in the room, apparently he didn't really have much say so. So I'm gonna go off that and then just see how this goes. Um, you got D linemen on the Texans, and of course the O line. They talking good talk right now. So I'm just intrigued to see how this gonna go.
Yeah, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like the line was bad last year, but what a lot of people fail to realize, the scheme was worse. Bobby Slowick had to go. Like he tried to force down a run game that wasn't there, and then he always made plays that developed way too long, and CJ was out there running for his life. You can't do that with a year two quarterback because they got tape on him. It's going to be a different way they attack him now that year two is there. So you can't do that. This year, I'm with Kendall. Like I'm going to sit back. I think it's going to be good, but I'm going to look and see what happens. The thing that impresses me about the front office is every position on that line they built to battle it out. Like there's a piece in every single line. It's not great. They're not like top tier pieces, but it's pieces to battle on the line to make the best player win. And like you said, Charlie, something had to change, right? Everybody's so like worked up about Tunzel leaving. Well, when your quarterback's getting hit from behind and he just standing there with his hands on the hip and not getting mad, you got to go. Like D'Amico Ryans has a swarm mentality, always like hyped up, and he just didn't fit that mentality. And plus, Tunzel was a guy that D'Amico didn't bring in, if that makes sense, right? Like he was here already. So now he got to wash his hands from it. And like I said, it was the 29th passing line in the league. Well, I mean, the only thing worse, they could beat 32 next year. So let's see what we got before we hit any kind of button.
I think you guys are both right. The Texans, in the Texans' mind, they're a team that's about to strike. What can we do to get over this hump? Because I'm in agreement. The Texans are going to be competitive. I mean, the floor is 8, 9, 10 wins, and that's going to win the division if no one else seriously steps up. What's funny, and I think this is what Texans fans get the impression of when you hear people hating on the Texans, is Texans fans think they're closer than other people think. I'm not even one of those people that think, the Texans aren't as good as they think they are. But I think the Texans, yes, the offensive line needs to come together for them to maybe take that next step. Like you said, the offensive line's going to take them as far as they're going to go. But I think another big part of it is who's going to be that other guy CJ Stroud can go to besides Nico Collins. I mean, I think that Bobby Slowick's scheme, yeah, it was bad. It was bad what it produced, but I don't know if it was maybe just bad in general. It was mismatch was the problem. Especially when you only have Nico Collins. When you say these long developing plays, no one else is doing much besides Nico Collins. Especially last year when you lose Tank Dell, which horrible for Texans fans, by the way.
What Tank Dell went what? Week 14 against the Chiefs. I mean, he still played 13 games last year,
Yeah, he
so
just
he was still there. But so the scheme. You're right. The scheme wasn't terrible. It was Slowick's decisions and play calling. So, a lot of people don't know is the Texans were number one in the league last year, playing third in more than 8. It was 173 times that they played third in more than 8. You know who was in second place? The New Orleans Saints with 93. See the difference? So like we were always playing from behind.
Yeah,
Basically.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
because we were so predictable. And that's the thing, yeah. Like that's a good point. Like it's not so much the scheme; it's just that we are predictable. And then when you don't give CJ the keys in year two, as far as like auditing stuff and like what's going to happen this year, then it's kind of like the teams know what's going to come. You're not switching it up. You're not changing it at the line. So when they see what's going to happen, they know it's going to stay there. So and
And
that was another thing that I think CJ obviously like in these press conferences he's making it be known like the keys is in his hand, and he's going to be able to change stuff at the line. Meaning he did when he wasn't able to change stuff the year prior. So I can tell that CJ really didn't like Bobby, and we was talking smack about Bobby all year. Like that Green Bay game was just ridiculous. There's no way we should have
You
lost
know,
that game. No way we should have lost the doggone Lions game. It's a couple of games we shouldn't have lost, but and that's the thing. To get to that next step, we got to stop losing them type of games.
I thought y'all were gonna beat the Lions for a second. That game,
Man,
Well,
five
that
interceptions.
was crazy. That was
thank
crazy.
you for bringing that up because we should have beat them. Look,
Yeah,
Nico,
Oh, I kind of thought the same thing.
Bobby Slowick is the reason why. And see, this is another thing. Like I don't. People say that he didn't mean it when he said it, or he was just trying to throw other teams off. I don't care. You don't say it, but he said teams don't adjust to you after halftime, and that's not true. You have to make adjustments, and that was Bobby Slowick's biggest flaw. Like the predictable play calling, you can get over that, but not adjusting to second half, it's crazy. Like we only scored. I don't have the stat around me, but I think 6 touchdowns after the second half, the whole season. 6 touchdowns.
Damn.
Yeah, you can't win games like that.
No.
Yeah, especially you have people like the Lions. You know what I mean? Like you can't leave it hanging.
Well, to get in the
So,
upper echelon, other than just like what we all expect from the Texans,
yeah.
you're going to beat the 8-9, but to get into that next tier of getting to 11, 12, 13 wins,
Well,
you
the
got to close
powerhouse
out games.
of the powerhouse of the AFC, right? Like the Ravens, the Bills, the Chiefs. To be like those teams, you gotta have to do stuff like that.
It seems to me that the Texans think that wide receiver is a big need of theirs to take that next step. Going back to last year with the Diggs thing, but since losing Tank Dell, I think what they saw the Texans offense with CJ Stroud could be with Nico and Tank Dell at the same time, they want to get that back desperately, quickly, and they should. I mean, if Jaden Higgins can step up, he does look like a stud. If Jaden Higgins and or Jalen Noel can be that, or even a Christian Kirk, if he can have a renaissance, Christian Kirk can
Stay
get
healthy.
open.
He just
You
got to
know,
stay healthy. That's big. That's Kirk's big flaw is availability, right? Like he just
yeah, I agree with that.
so like he be. I thought we got a steal out of him. So if he can stay on the field and produce, I'm okay with it. I agree with you to an extent. Like that's the reason why we lose these playoff games because we only have receivers like both years. Nico Collins was our only option, and then
Tank hasn't made it down the stretch either time, and
right,
Tank
absolutely.
Dell had me shivering in my boots. I was actually at the Texans Jaguars game when Tank Dell kind of had his coming out party. I was like, what? I knew about him from college a little bit, but no one thinks he's going to be that good, especially where he got drafted. Of course, so. But going after that season, I thought Tank Dell was the best receiver in that class by far. So as a Jaguars, I was kind of shivering in my boots. So I think it's a real shame that he's had some injury bad luck.
Well, and me and Kendall are kind of both in agreement. This is why we like this draft. So like say Christian Kirk goes down. Okay, he got his replacement in Jalen Noel. Nico Collins, he's another guy. He elite player, but he is guaranteed to miss at least 4 games a year. So if he goes down, you got his replacement in Jaden Higgins. They're both those guys are comped those two guys, right? So they go off the field, you got them to replace. So hopefully it looks like they're making plan A, B, C. So hopefully it works out for us.
Yeah, we gotta hope they step up if that happens, because that's one thing about being a rookie. Not everybody gonna step up to the plate. You know what I'm saying? We need them
And the
to.
NFL is a different monster, right? Like we can all
Mm-hmm.
say like coming out of college, you could hope, but college and NFL are two different beasts, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
don't know what's going to happen. We hope it happens, but we at the end of the day, like we don't we like so. Charlie, you bring up the whole Stephon Diggs. So Crenshaw, the one that had to go, he wanted to stay at 28 and select the same person y'all picked up at 28. He wanted Brian Thomas Jr. So that I mean, in hindsight, you kind of wish we did that, right? Like that'd be great. Nico
Yeah,
Collins.
yeah. A lot of teams. I'm sure he slipped by a couple teams that he probably shouldn't have slipped by. But I mean, it kind of goes to show that it seems the Texans really want to get another receiver. Dude, I was borderline, and I thought Nico Collins was great. I would have argued before even everyone agreed he was as good as he was. I thought Tank Dell might have been just as like Tank Dell was like seriously dangerous. So I think the Texans really have it out to replace that with like a 1A because of what CJ Stroud could potentially do with weapons, at his disposal like that, which I like CJ. Not as a Jags fan, but as a fan of football, and all that. I mean, he's a good, I saw when you guys post, a couple of weeks ago, maybe or recently, like, are the Texans a likable team? I mean, unfortunately, yeah. I mean, CJ's what's not to like?
Right. Well, and you're right. Like Tank Dell, to me, I think Tank Dell was finally coming out back to form of last year before he got hurt. Like he was having
He,
he
of
was
course,
killing Kansas City.
Tank Dell's so good,
He
man.
was
It's like
killing
honestly,
Kansas City.
that was one that just pissed me off just for like just good receiver play.
So I live here up in Kansas in Chiefs area. I hate it. I hate Chiefs fans.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I hate the Chiefs so much too.
They're terrible. I can't stand them. They're this eras of Cowboys fans, so it's just it's bad. But I saw when Tank Dell went down, and it was, I mean, it was so hard. It was rough. It was very rough. So, Grant, thanks for coming on, man. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Like I told Charlie, you can't have a good show without any technical difficulties. So,
No, that's all my input, boys. So I appreciate you guys having me back on. But don't know what I missed, but I know Chuck might have mentioned that. Yeah, I'm not a Jags fan, guys. I'm a full-on
Fucking
Bucks fan.
okay.
I'm a little different. I live in the Jacksonville area though, so I gotta root for them as my AFC team. I will say, but no, I'm diehard Bucks.
Okay, well, with that, let me get your kind of outside looking in. What is your thoughts on the Texans?
I think the Texans are a team that is kind of in the weeds, ready to pounce, but they have to take advantage of their opportunity. I mean, you look at a team like Kansas City, the Baltimore Ravens, and obviously with Buffalo Bills. Those are the three-headed monsters that they have to find a way to slay. And the only way that they're going to beat them, you can't beat the Buffalo Bills by playing Buffalo Bills style football. You can't beat the Chiefs by playing Chiefs style football. You can't beat the Ravens by playing Chiefs style football. And that's where I think CJ Stroud has to make his own name for some kind of way. He has to do something different than just traditional styles of playing the quarterback position. He has to make a brand new way, like Lamar has, like Patrick Mahomes has, like Josh Allen has.
And kind of saw it too against the Los Angeles Chargers game, right? Like the dude just completely no blocking, fumbled the ball, threw a 45-yard first down pass to Xavier Hutchinson. Like the dude's a magician, so he has the talent.
And you know what's wild is I looked at that play and I said that was a very Joe Burrow-esque play. Like that looked like Joe Burrow running for his life, making a play happen. And I told my buddies, we were all together when we watched the game, I said, that just changed the entire game right there. That just put the heartbeat back in that team that they needed. Because that's all it is. That's all it is.
Keno, you got anything to counter that? What do you think on it?
On what?
On what Grant said about the Texans?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I definitely agree. Like, and it's not just CJ. Is also like what's his name? D'Amico Ryans. Like he has to like do his thing. Like as far as coaching, like you saying how CJ got to make his own lane. You can't try to be KC or whoever the case may be. He got to be CJ Stroud. D'Amico also got to have that type of coaching ability because to be Andy Reid, you got to outcoach Andy Reid. That's the only way really to beat Andy Reid, and so on and so on. So I definitely agree, and I also think like D'Amico Ryans as well. He got to make that lane and do better this year. Like a lot of people like him, and I do too. But I also see a couple of his flaws that held us back a little bit when it comes to some of the games during the season, and also when it comes to the doggone Chiefs game. Yes, the defense played pretty good, but we let a guy that didn't even do well all season go for 150 plus, and like I think he had what 2 touchdowns on Travis Kelsey. So that was definitely like a head scratcher. Like we couldn't even stop him, but we stopped all the other receivers, which was crazy. But they still beat us. So yeah, that's I definitely agree with that though.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's kind of what we're talking about. Like the Green Bay game, the Detroit game. Like there's games that we should have won, but D'Amico kind of felt like he wants to play for the time of possession instead of playing for the win, and that's when teams like Green Bay, Packers, Detroit Lions come back and like how do you pick off Stafford or not Stafford, Golf 5 times and still lose a game? It makes no sense to me.
Let
Well,
me
at the
ask y'all
same
this real
time,
quick. Go ahead, Chuck. Go ahead.
well, I was going to say at the same time, the Texans needing to find their identity is also, I think, what people would say their issue is.
That was exactly what I was about to ask you. I was going to ask you guys, what is the Texans' identity? Like, do they have an identity?
I think it came out this year. Last year, I think it finally came out, and
So, what
that's
is it?
the defense, the swarm mentality defense. Especially after you go in and you're getting a guy like C.J. Gardner Johnson, it just made that defense team. And me
Hey,
and Kendall
he's a
kind
dog,
of
man. People don't realize he's a dog.
Mentality on that defense is going to be,
me and
they're
Kendall
going
are
to be
kind of
sharp.
ingredients, and people was calling us crazy for this, but we believe on paper because we haven't really seen it on the field yet, but we believe this defense can be as special as the Legion of Boom. Like you got your shutdown corners like they did, and we got even something even more. We got two elite pass rushers that is going to eat the offensive line.
I think you got one personally. Daniil Hunter, I think, is a one-trick pony. Personally, I think he's great at rushing the quarterback, but I don't think he's an elite defensive end. Personally, I think he's an elite third down pass rusher. Maybe.
I mean, he had a lot of tackles for loss.
Yeah, no, Daniil Hunter's good. I'm not going to come on here to tell you Daniil
No,
Hunter's bad, but if I'm going to come on here and tell you why I don't think the Texans are as good as 12, 13 wins, because the way I see the conference playing out, the Texans can't win 12 or 13 games. So if you want to hear why, in my opinion, I think they don't have an identity and they need a second receiver. And I think they're spamming looking for another one. I don't know that I see it on the roster. I wish Tank Dell for the Texans fans was out there, but he's not out there. I think the Texans were put in a corner needing to get a new offensive line, moving on from Tunsil. I don't criticize them for that, but how's that offensive line going to hold up? I think the Texans win 9 games this year if you had me betting my real cash.
honestly, my flooring is 10. My ceiling is 13. If we can win 13, if the offensive line is right, and C.J. Stroud bounces back to his not even to his rookie year, but somewhat to his rookie year. Like he
I
don't
mean, I
have to
think
play
he
rookie year.
should. I think CJ Stroud can and should play as good as he did his rookie year. The Texans, you guys have the big names on defense. Derek Stingley's a shutdown corner. Kamari Lassiter is better than people even really realize. Will Anderson's one of the best players in the NFL. But so the defense, if I was a Texans fan, I'd be saying the same crazy shit. I would be. The Texans are dangerous. The way I see that division playing out, I think the Texans and Jaguars are going to have a similar amount of wins. I think the Titans are going to have 7 wins. I think the Colts are going to have about 7 wins. And I think it's going to be kind of a unfortunately grueling division for what everyone likes to call the worst division in football. It's better than people think.
Before I'll let you go here in a second, Ground. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're good. No, you're fine.
So I'm kind of indifferent with you, right? I think the Texans win with 10 wins. I see the Jaguars taking a step. It all depends on protect Trevor Lawrence. If you can protect Trevor Lawrence, I see y'all winning 8 wins, maybe getting a wild card, maybe not. I see the I see the
I
Titans.
don't think you can get a wild card no more. In
Well, I'm just saying,
the AFC,
you never know.
they
You never know these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you never know how it'll play out.
Nobody had the Denver Broncos going last year. So like,
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're 3-6 and you're in the hunt graphic.
right. So But then I got the Titans with like around the sixth win. I think Cam Ward, and I heard Grant. I heard you're a big Cam Ward fan. I think Cam Ward can get some wins, but it's all about how they build around him. And then I have the Colts not winning maybe more than 4 games because I don't believe in Anthony Richardson, a guy who taps out on his team on third down. Is crazy to me.
That
Uh,
man was tired, man. He had a 300 pound on his back.
he was tired of losing to the Texans.
I'm
That's
not.
what it
I'm
was.
not in on Richardson either, man. I think
Dog.
Daniel.
so bad.
I think Daniel Jones is going to be like somewhat okay though. It's like that's my thing.
So like here's my on my Colts. Here's my crazy take. I think Riley Leonard starts the last 4 games for the Colts.
That's crazy.
That's a good one.
I mean, AR can't stay healthy. Danny
I mean,
Dimes
like I see
like
it.
good. You know what I mean? So why not?
And I think
Those
the
are
Colts
my-
are tanking low key. They
What's
You
that?
thinking
tanking
what?
right
Colts
now.
are taking.
They tanking.
I think they're
Yeah.
too good for that, man. I really do.
Man.
I think if they tried to tank, they'd still win. I think Shane Steichen's a good coach. I'm not here
He
to
is a good
talk
coach.
good
I
about the
agree,
Colts.
but I think they tanking low key for Arch Manning. That's just my.
Yeah,
That's just my belief. I kind of see it coming. I kind of see it coming. Because how do you like you give up on Richardson that fast? Like I get it in a way, but Daniel Jones, like nah, like anybody but Daniel Jones. Like I don't know.
I mean,
This
it's
whole
That's the
this
X
whole
undefeated.
factor. You bring
tanking
Daniel
teams
Jones
has
to compete with
gotta
him.
stop. No
You
team
know,
is tanking. It's an impossible thing.
oh no, teams be
Everybody, no
tanking.
team is tanking.
Why
Absolutely not.
not?
Because Shane, for the Colts instance, I'm going to talk about the Colts specifically here. Shane Steichen's job is on the line, and so is the GMs. Like
Chris
both
Ballard,
the one who
is
they're
definitely
not
on.
tanking. They know if they have a bad year, they're gone. Especially with new ownership. Like I mean, rest in peace to Jim Irsay, but like they got new heads that are making decisions in there. They're not going to put their job on the line to possibly tank and get Arch Manning or get this high level quarterback. That's not going to happen. This is the NFL. You got to perform day in and day out. You're not going to get paid the same way if you get fired from a job and try to get a new job. It's not going to work.
Right. Well, Grant, I'm glad you brought that the Ursay passing. I mean, I'm not glad you brought it up. I mean, it's terrible to happen. But me and my buddy were talking, and when Jim Ursay got the team from his dad, guess who he drafted? First
Hey,
year,
Manning.
Peyton Manning, and
Yeah.
now his son's about to take over, and there's a chance first quarterback he's drafting might be another.
It
Who
could be
knows? They
above.
might give Shane a grace
It
if
could be
they get
above
Arch
Shane's
Manning.
head.
That's all I'm saying. It's a
Now
little
Arch Manning's
conspiracy
going to say
theories,
no.
but
He's going to pull an Eli and say, I ain't going there. I'm not
Well,
going to Peyton's place.
he did say that he didn't want he wants to make his own journey. He didn't want to follow none of his families. But it's crazy that like the top 3 teams that are missing to go for Manning are the Saints, the Giants, and the Colts, and all of them had a Manning on their team. So
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy. Crenshaw, thanks for coming on. Grant and Charlie both asked this question. I want to get your take on it. What is the Texans' identity? Do we have one? They think that's our biggest flaw is we don't have an identity. You're
you
muted, brother.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Our identity been the same the last 2 years. Defense. That's our identity is defense. But we need to change it to offense. That's our identity. That's the biggest flaw we have going into this season right now. And that's my biggest concern. But we do have an identity though, because when you think of Texans, all you think is D'Amico, you think of defense, you think of rah rah rah, you think of guys getting at it. That's what you think of when you think of the Texans.
I mean, that's the truth. The Texans are physical. They hit. They play hard. They swarm the football, like Texans fans like to say. And you guys have D'Amico, disciplined defense. You know, defensive mind, everything like that. If you can tap into getting an offensive identity, because CJ Stroud's a good quarterback, if you could tap into getting an offensive identity to go along with that strong defense with D'Amico Ryans, that's what the Texans would take the next step. But you got to get the offensive line figured out, and someone else has to step up besides Nico Collins to really even let CJ Stroud do his thing.
Uh, Okay, Charlie, let me ask you a question. So last year, how did you grade CJ Stroud last year?
I think C.J. Stroud was a good quarterback that really didn't have a chance because of what the Texans had going on offense. You know, whether you want to say it was Bobby Slowick's scheme, I thought Bobby Slowick bringing in Stephon Diggs was doomed from the start because Tank Dell was there in the mix. But down the stretch with the Texans, especially with Joe Mixon missing time, especially when Tank Dell went out, when Mixon was trying to come back, the way that offense looked when it was just Nico Collins and CJ Stroud and everybody else, that's not working. So something's got to change with that. But let's not get mistaken here. Nico Collins is unguardable. He's up there with AJ Brown one-on-one in the NFL. CJ Stroud's a good quarterback, but you can't win games one-on-one with a quarterback and a wide receiver on offense. You know, you got to have a real offensive identity. You know, identity is an easy word to throw around. It's not even just that simple. They got to get CJ Stroud unlocked with protection and someone else besides Nico Collins.
Okay, Grant, let me ask you a question. If CJ can play like a Jared Goff this season, how far do you see the Texans going?
If he can play like Jared Goff did last year, they can easily go to the Super Bowl. That's no question. I mean, genuinely. But the problem is he's not gonna play like Jared Goff because of Nick Colley, the new offense coordinator, right?
Mm-hmm.
He comes from a Sean McVay style of offense. Sean McVay, he's not a 5,000-yard passer. He's not a 4,500-yard passer. He's not going to play that style. He's going to play, let's get the run game physical first before we open up the play action. Let's open up space, drop the linebackers, let's do all that. I don't see him playing the way Jared Goff does simply because of their scheme. And it's going to take time for them to get situated in that scheme. Like as a guy with no dog in this fight, the Texans are going to struggle out the gate because this is a brand new system. It's not a Bobby Slowick system. More tight splits, more motions. But if he can play like Jared Goff, yeah, they're Super Bowl for sure.
Okay, so you say that because we don't have the wide receiver one and the wide receiver wide receiver one and tight end like the Lions. Like if Nico could stay healthy and 1 hour tight ends could emerge this year, could he get that 5,000, 4,800, 5,000 yards?
CJ Stroud has the talent to throw for that 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's not get that wrong. CJ Stroud, if he is playing at his full potential, he is a top 6 quarterback in the NFL. That's for certain. The question is, can he do it? You know, with the weapons he has, and 2, will his system allow it?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, CJ Stroud can spin it, man. CJ Stroud can spin it. He can read coverages. He can throw with anticipation. He can do all the X's and O's that a coach is going to ask of their quarterback, without question. And it's not a Trevor Lawrence situation. I'm down on Trevor Lawrence. Chuck knows this.
Yep.
Chuck is slow to read coverages. He's slow to throw it in timing, in space. CJ Stroud can do all those way better. No offense, Chuck.
I mean, that's the truth. That's the truth.
The crazy thing too is like CJ's amazing rookie year. Nico Collins was out, Tank Dell was out, and he was still ball. So I'm like, I get what you're saying, Charlie, about the number 2 receiver. If CJ Stroud has, like Keno says, the keys to drive, I think we can make it work. It just all depends on this offensive line. Is it going to give them time to make the drive, right? Like to get rid of the ball. So that's the big if.
But I'll have to say my piece quickly because although CJ Stroud is more consistent in that regard, I think Trevor Lawrence's biggest issue is the consistency of it. I think for stretches, Trevor Lawrence, yes, he may not have the full, like people like to say, full read capabilities. You can call him a 2-read quarterback. But Trevor Lawrence is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL when he is working in an offense that'll support him. I think this offense that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to have set up, it's going to be easy enough. Call it a system quarterback. That's fine. I think it's really going to work. But
I will say, Trevor Lawrence's ceiling is higher than CJ Stroud's.
You said, what was that?
Trevor Lawrence's ceiling is much higher than CJ Stroud's.
Oh, his ceiling? You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I think a lot of people are quick to give up on Trevor. I think the Jaguars are failing him, right? Like they're doing the same thing the Texans did to CJ last year. They're not protecting him. They're giving him poor offensive minded coordinators and coaches. Like Press Taylor should have been fired a long time ago. I don't know why they rolled him out with him last year. That's evil work, and he got Doug Peterson fired. I don't think he has he gets hurt way too often, but I don't think he is being allowed to be the quarterback he can be.
Well, you said it earlier with protection. If you don't get Trevor Lawrence protected the last 2 years, he's gotten severely banged up. And it's not, I don't think it's fair to say he's injury prone. It's just been constant sprained ankle here,
Well, that's what I'm getting.
shoulder at the end of the season there, bad timing, right? 2023, they were rolling, and then you get the ankle, and then the season's off the rails. 2024, you pick up a shoulder early in the year, season never even gets on track. The thing with Trevor Lawrence is he's still a developing quarterback, which, yes, we're pitting CJ Stroud against Trevor Lawrence. He's younger, maybe further along in some areas of advanced quarterback play, but Trevor Lawrence is no slouch in those areas either. And the biggest issue with him is the streakiness of it. For a couple games stretch, it looks like he's got it figured out, and then all of a sudden you're, what did I just watch? And when the Grant threw that, that's probably the nicest thing Grant's ever said. He's never said that before. But the thing with Trevor Lawrence is when he gets that stuff down, people call him, you can say two-read quarterback. That's not exactly true, but that might be the sentiment right now because that's what it looks like. The Jaguars haven't supported him worth a damn. Now all of a sudden Brian Thomas is here. Now all of a sudden they've got Travis Hunter. If he's not rolling this year, call me out. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about that.
Liam Cohen will get Trevor Lawrence right.
If
Duval.
he make you do it, it's him, right?
Liam Cohen, yeah, he knows what he's doing.
So before we go on to, I got one question for you guys. Obviously, you probably know our takes on it, but I definitely got to get Charlie's take on it. Charlie, what was your take on the Al Zaires hit?
Oh my god!
I was
You don't
just
want to
about
ask
to
me.
ask
Yeah,
that.
Let's hear it. Come on.
The
Yeah,
thing
we
is,
gotta
like,
hear it.
football's football, man. I'm never gonna say a hit was too late. In fact, I'm all about let's get a dirty hit in just to set the tone, like within reason, within health reasons. I'm not going out of control here. I don't think it was necessarily go after Al Shair Aziz. I'll be honest, I don't exactly pronounce his name, but I know his name. Yeah, it was a late hit. Yeah, your team's got to fight over it. The fight was warranted. It is what it is. I don't hold a grudge or think it's anything out of turn necessarily that needs to be talked about a year later. Although it's good to bring up. The thing is, Trevor Lawrence shouldn't have even been playing that game. Like I was so excited for
I
them.
said the same thing.
I'll be honest, I was relieved that he was just done for the year because he got hurt early in the year and he was kind of playing okay, but he never played well last year. It was ready to hang it up and let's just pack it up and see what we can do next year.
The crazy work is Matt Jones came in and threw all over us. That was
Yeah.
the crazy work. Like Grant, what was your take on it? I know you're not a Jaguar. You probably have a
I
different
mean,
take.
yeah, but it's everybody knows that play. That's for sure. I see it as a football play. Genuinely, I don't think there's a single player in that league that doesn't respect each other. They all respect each other heavily. They're not going out there trying to kill people like that, trying to hurt people like that. That's not what their intentions are. At the same time, though, yeah, you got to get your ass whipped for it. And do I think he deserved to get fined, to get suspended? Yeah, because you got to set a tone and you got to set a standard. The NFL does. But I don't think it was dirty and egregious in that kind of way, but uncalled for, maybe, sure.
You think it was blowing out of proportion across media, right?
Oh, they have to get something to explode, so yeah.
I think they was acting like Trevor Lawrence was Peyton Manning or something. Like As y'all know, I'm a Clemson fan. Trevor can run the ball. Like I'm talking about taking an 80-yard to the house. So people was acting like he's not a runner. Trevor, he runs over people. So that moment he shouldn't have did that. Like I don't think he should have ran right there because, as we all know, he shouldn't have been playing. But yeah, that was just a bad situation. Wrong time, wrong place, and then going up against Aziz and Aziz trying to protect, you know what I'm saying, his territory of him getting the first down. So it was unfortunate.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. I think just the visual of it all, like I don't have a problem with like getting fired up in the game about it, but dragging it into the media was a little bit unwarranted. Like I wasn't tripping about it as a Jaguars fan.
Yeah.
Although, you hate to see your quarterback laid out like that. The thing is though, the reality was, like I said, it was time for him to hang it up on the year because he did the same thing in 23. To talk about Trevor Lawrence one more time, in 2022, I thought he played like one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. 2023, I thought they were on that same track, even in Monday Night Football in Cincinnati. You get that sprained ankle. He came back 2 weeks later. I think he only missed one game after getting, carted off the field. Came back, immediately sprained a knee, and then missed another week, and then came back again, and then sprained a shoulder. And he was doing that same BS in 2024, get banged up early, but still come back. You call it injury prone because, I guess technically that's what it was, but they just got to protect him, man. Keep him upright. And if they can get rolling, to me, and I don't think I'm a crazy biased Jags fan. Like, I want to be right on this. I think the Texans and Jags are going to be like on equal playing field in terms of like, 8, 9, 10 wins this year.
All right.
Maybe the Texans get to 11, the Jaguars are at 8, 9. I could see that happening, especially if Jaden Higgins is a stud. But I think the Jaguars are going to be dangerous,
Hmm.
especially with
I
Travis Hunter. Like we haven't even brought Travis
dangerous.
Hunter is going to be so good, boys.
I think
Hey man, I got some. Yeah, let's talk about Travis. I'm gonna be totally honest. He gonna have to pick a side, bro. He
I think
gonna
he's a
have to
wide
pick a
receiver.
side. He gonna have
Yeah,
to.
I
I think he
Why?
should.
Why?
Why do I think? Because one, this is the NFL. Like, these are grown men. If you think that these guys not finna feel a certain type of way because you playing both sides, like
yep.
like they go cover him, like they gonna be so physical with him when it comes to defense. You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to him playing on defense, you know what I'm saying? When he's playing on offense, they're gonna be very physical with him. Like corners are gonna try him, like jamming them, being as long as it's above 5 yards, pushing them, all that type of stuff, trying to get in his head, all that type of stuff, because it's gonna take a lot for him to play both sides. Now I do think he's gonna most likely play mostly defense, and then they might have a little few plays for him on offense. But I think it should stay like that. I do not think he should do what he did in college. That's that. I don't think that's gonna work.
So I actually think I think you're kind of on point because you can't just have him trot out there both ways like he was doing in college. But I think he's going to be a wide receiver that plays situationally on defense. I think that's what he's better at. I think there is kind of this idea he's better at corner because the ball skills translating. I think he's a red zone machine. Honestly, I think that's why they were so like crazed about moving up for him. And I swear, and I'm glad that we started the show. I was talking crazy about Travis Hunter before the Jags got him. I'm a big Travis Hunter guy. Is he going to play both sides? I think the answer is yes, but he's not going to be a full-time corner. If you look at how the Jaguars are building their team, they need him to play wide receiver. And their secondary was dead last in the NFL by many metrics last year. So they're going to need him to kind of, supplement there for sure. But if you look at how they're building that roster, I think they're happier with their cornerback room and letting him be a wide receiver if push comes to shove. But they're going to try to make it work with both sides of the ball.
Grant, you agree?
Yeah, I don't think Travis is. I don't think he's physical enough to be like a big time corner. Like he's not a man corner. He's a zone corner. He's a great zone corner. But when you throw Travis Hunter out there at corner, more times than not, you're probably playing zone. And when you tell the offense what you're playing, it's all right. We're not going to throw it over there. He's definitely going to be a wide receiver. He's going to be a great wide receiver because he doesn't have to be hands-on every play like he does at corner. But he's going to be good. He's going to be good. He's all ball. You got to appreciate that nowadays. He's all ball.
Yeah, he's going to floor us, but when he plays the Texans, it's a wrap. It's over with. Just like
He's gonna have to come. He's gonna
Yeah.
have to come correct when he gets that little screenplay and Kamari Lassiter is coming across shedding that block. I mean that's the truth. But-
or Aziz outside here laying that hit stick.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. That's true. You're gonna hit him with a stick and move. Get away from that. But dude, I think and I love Brian Thomas. I think Brian Thomas is fantastic. I was talking crazy about Brian Thomas. I'm not standing down on. I think Travis Hunter.
He should have been a Texan.
See, I told you, Grinsaw was all for
He should have been. He should have been a lot of things. He should have been. A lot of teams should have picked him. He should have been a top 10 pick.
And he wanted to stay where we're at to get beat.
And this isn't even hindsight. Brock Bowers should have been a top 5 pick. Brian Thomas should have been a top 10 pick. College football watchers know this, but Travis Hunter as the wide receiver, and I think as a Jaguars fan, I think Texans fans need to be informed. Travis Hunter, I think, is going to be a better wide receiver than even Brian Thomas is for the Jaguars.
That's a big.
No one agrees with me. My own fellow fans are like, bro, chill out. I think Brian Thomas is fantastic, but I think Travis Hunter has a real potential to be a Justin Jefferson, a top 5 receiver in the league, hands
His
down.
route running not even there. Like
It's not
Brian Thomas
the thing
route
with
running is.
it is
Yeah.
the thing with Travis Hunter, he catches everything. That's a skill. Travis Hunter has the best hands, and let's wait till we see him play.
Yeah,
but Trevor gonna overthrow his ass every time.
He ain't playing NFL yet.
Yeah, I get
Thomas-
that. I get that Colorado State. That game, that
So-
catch was ridiculous. I was watching it live. That was ridiculous. But
You know my favorite thing about Travis
it
Hunter
is
was-
college.
My favorite thing
I
about
don't
Travis
think
Hunter.
too many grown men in the NFL for to let that fly. That's gonna
Yeah,
be tough.
that's the truth. That's the truth. But the thing, I think Travis Hunter's ball skills is just next level. I think that's why he's such a good
definitely got
corner.
great ball skills for sure.
You know, Brian Thomas
on that one.
Brian Thomas is bigger, faster, stronger. You know, better route runner, you could say, because Travis Hunter is a corner making the transition to wide receiver. But Brian Thomas is also a raw wide receiver that's still developing. I'm not knocking him whatsoever. The reason I'm higher on the Jaguars than I typically am, because I try not to be too biased. The Jaguars aren't ready to take a next step by any means.
Man, you could be biased, bro. You a fan.
Well, no, but I'm trying not. But,
Chuck, you are biased. I'm just
Grant over here like,
No.
Just admit it, Chuck. It's all right, bro.
If I wasn't, I still think Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas could be the best wide receiver duo in the league with Chase Higgins, Smith Brown, Addison, Jefferson. I mean, dude, Thomas Hunter is pretty dangerous, boys.
So you saying that duo could be better than the Dallas duo as well with Pickens and Lamb?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I'm not too high on Pickens. I'm not even gonna lie to you. He's good, but he ain't.
He get touched.
I'm not losing sleep.
All right,
Man,
so
if he get his
I'm
attitude right.
all right, let me ask Grant a question. Actually, this for Grant and Keno. So Grant, since we play you guys first, what's your 3 keys to victory on Monday Night Football? And then after he's finished, Keno, what's your 3 keys to victory on Monday Night Football?
I mean, first one, don't let CJ Stroud throw for 500 yards on your ass again. First thing, good. I remember watching that. I was like, "This is Todd Bowles. What are we talking about?"
Yeah,
But I do think I think the first key has got to be what Todd Bowles does really well: get pressure on the quarterback, disguise your coverages in some kind of way, blitz him, do stunts, do everything that you do as Todd Bowles. Get pressure on CJ Stroud, because what we showed last year, I know it's a whole new team. We were terrible at the DB spot. We could not stop a nosebleed. It was bad. I think so. That's the first one. Get pressure on CJ Stroud. Second of all, you got to establish your run game against a D line like that. If you do not establish a run game, they will get your ass when you drop back and pass. Does not matter. Establish a run game. Use Bucky. Use Rashad. Use those boys that you got. Drive them down. Run 12 personnel. Do all that. Get them down like that. And 3, I think field position. I think the punting game. I mean, nobody talks about that. But field position is so key in the NFL. When you have to punt the ball, just be okay with it. Punt the ball, put them deep, make CJ Stroud, make the Texans, make Joe Mixon, Nico Collins, make them have to drive the ball 90 yards. If you can limit them to 3 points over 7, you have a chance to win.
Okay, I like it. Kenneth?
Keys for the Texans, most definitely O line. Like, yes, this is going to be the first game of the unit, whoever the unit is playing with each other, but they have to like show some good things out there and be consistent throughout the game. They're gonna have some bumps in the road, of course, but they're gonna have to like literally show some type of consistency throughout that game. If they do not, then that game is gonna be rough, and it's definitely gonna be a high scoring game on the bus side. You know what I'm saying? Because if our offense getting off the field, you know what I'm saying, can't do nothing getting off the field, then our defense gonna get tired. Even though our defense can be dominant, but they gonna get tired. Now we do have some guys that can rotate in, but I just don't see. I kind of see the same thing happening the other year, CJ rookie year, when we won. I'm not saying that somebody's going to win last a couple of seconds, but I do see it being like in the 30s on both teams. Maybe Bucks have like 27, and we have like 30 something. Of course, I got this one.
Okay, all right. So now the next one's for Charlie and Matt. So Charlie, you can give me your biased and unbiased keys to victory for the Jaguars against the Texans.
Well, I always got to say that. I always got to say that. Of course, I'm a little bit biased. I think it starts with the passing games on both sides of the ball. I think it's a wide receiver versus secondary matchup. Of course, we all know football starts in the trenches. You win and die in the trenches. I think the Jaguars and Texans have similar identities in the trenches. I think they both have good defensive lines, and I think they both have middle of the pack offensive lines, maybe bad offensive lines if things go south. I think they're both trying to find an offensive line identity. And I think they both have good running backs. I think Mixon's better than ETN in terms of like what we've seen. I think that's fair to say, but I don't think ETN's bad. Bigsby's okay. So this is a wide receiver secondary game. You've got Stingley. He's a lockdown corner, but can Trevor Lawrence finally throw the Jaguars to a win in Houston? The way the series has been going, Houston whips up on Jacksonville in Jacksonville, and then the Jaguars try to go scrap one out in Houston. Can Trevor Lawrence throw them to victory over CJ Stroud once or twice? Hopefully twice, at least once is a necessity.
Okay, Matt, what's our keys to victory in that game, man?
Charge said Joe Mixon. It all depends on Joe Mixon. You get him running the ball, and like Grant says, that's McVay. If Nick Haley's running that McVay offense, you're going to set up the play action. I don't believe in the linebackers in Jacksonville. I think any Georgia linebacker is better than any Jacksonville linebacker right now. So I think they're going to eat up the middle with play action, and I got the Texans winning both. I got Texans sweeping the whole division.
Hey, they're both Liam Cohen head coaches now. They both come from the same. Sorry, they're both Sean McVay type of coaches. They come from the same tree. They know what they're doing. They know each other's schemes. They know how to. Oh, I know what you're doing here. You're not slick.
Okay, so
You're right, Grant.
this is my last one for Charlie and Grant. All right, well Charlie, you kind of said it, but I'm gonna ask you again.
Yeah.
Grant, how many wins do you think your team's gonna have this year?
The Bucks.
Yes, sir.
I've been kind of stuck on that 10-11 number. I think 11 is where we're at.
And win the division, correct?
I do think we'll win the division. Yes.
All right, Charlie, give me your biased and unbiased wins.
Unbiased, I think the Jags go 9-8.
Okay.
I think it's fair to say a new system. I don't think they're going to start off super hot. They go to Cincinnati week 2. They play Kansas City week 4 or 5 at home. So, I mean, you could even see them getting boat raced in one or two of those games. I don't think they will. I think they're going to play both those games tough, but are they going to be ahead of the win-loss column early? I don't think so. I think they're going to get hot late. I think they're a 9-8 team. But if they start hot, if for whatever reason they start hot, I think they get to 10 wins. And that's why I think this division's interesting, because the Texans have pieces. They're not gonna just fall off a cliff. So I think you've got two teams that are gonna be. It's gonna depend on who wins those matchups in division. I honestly think so.
Okay, when you say start hot, what's considered start hot? 2-1, 3-1. What's considered starting hot?
It's got to be 4-1, Chuck. If you can go out of Kansas City, because they're Kansas City week 5, you can go out of Kansas City at 4-1. That's a hot start.
I think starting hot would be 3-2 for their schedule, because they play the Bengals and the Chiefs in the first 5 weeks. And so if they're 3-2, if they only lose those games and they sweep everybody else, or if they somehow, they play the Panthers week 1, I'm not going to be able to rip it out, but
all right. I mean, not to linger on to this too long, but like if you lose to the Bengals, Chiefs, those are the teams you would see in the playoffs, and if you lose in the regular season, that can't be considered a hot start. I'm sorry, if you're playing duds
That's
initially,
fair.
you gotta find a way to beat the good teams.
That's fair. You can't call it a hot start. I mean, that's fair. But
I think they should beat the
schedule.
Bengals though.
No,
Me too.
Me too.
I'm sorry. I think
Me too, but don't
Bengals defense about to be so trash.
Don't say that around Grant.
This is a whole nother year, man. This is a whole nother year.
That defense about to be trash. You a Joe Burrow fan, Grant?
As a quarterback, I think he's a little off the field. I don't know, but on the field, yeah, I think he's genuinely the best quarterback in the NFL.
I mean,
I got love for Joe.
I mean,
I got him in my top 4. I got him in my top 4.
Yeah, he had a terrible defense before he went to the Super Bowl with them. So I mean, I'm just saying.
Nah, man, they was okay.
Terrible offensive line.
Yeah.
They're gonna be better. They're gonna be better.
Well, fellas, in the wise words of my boy Crenshaw, this is the worst part of the show because it's the end. Guys, thanks for coming on. We're definitely have to do this because there's some more hot takes, especially from Charlie, saying that Puka is way better than Nico Collins. We got to talk.
That's just facts. That's just facts.
I'm
sorry.
Wait, hold on. I mean,
we gotta talk about this now.
Hold on.
My bad. I didn't mean to say that.
Okay. Now, I'm not gonna lie, and y'all know how I am, man. You know how I am.
Crenshaw's the biggest Texan doubter.
We only could go by 2 years of Puka because they don't play 2 years. So if you're going by the last 2 years, technically, statistically, Puka has been better than Nico.
I don't think I was in that
eye test too.
Yeah, because I mean, Nico don't have no season of almost 1,500 yards.
Okay,
at all.
All right, name me a receiver that is like anywhere Cooper Kupp on the Texans.
I mean,
you can't make those comparisons, man.
You can't because they're not.
You can't because different schemes and different teams run different schemes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, they're not throwing the ball at the same time.
Because if you say Cooper Kupp, then you got to say Matthew Stafford.
And Matthew Stafford is only throwing for 32, 33, 3,400 yards a year nowadays. He's not throwing 4,000 like C.J. Stroud.
And also in the draft, man, Nico and Puka is on the board. Who are we taking?
Puka, because I can play him inside and outside.
You can play Nico inside and outside.
No, he's an outside receiver. Don't even.
He plays inside too.
Oh, man, he don't.
Look at the video.
He don't, man. He's an outside guy. He's an outside. He's a Mike Evans type.
See, the reason why. See what he's saying that he can play inside outside. See, they can feed Puka more. We don't feed Nico that much. He gets 80, 90 targets a year because he's on the outside.
That's fair, and that's why I'm really interested to see what their new coordinator does. Because again, Bud Collins, he comes from a Sean McVay style. They move their receivers. They have motion every play basically. I'm so interested to see what they do. If they put Nico on the move like they do a Jamar, like they do a Puka, yeah, he could be a 1,900-yard receiver.
I was about to say he could be 1,800 yards easy if he's on the field because he always missed 5 games. If he's on the field
today, without seeing Nico yet, I'm taking Puka for sure.
That hammy been flaring up. I don't think I was in Nico Collins. Nico Collins is unguardable. He might be one of the best one-on-one players in the league.
So
But
that
he's
But
so
not.
I get what you're saying, Chris, about the last 2 years, but let's just go on last year because they both missed the same amount of games,
Did they?
and Nico was better.
Puka did miss some games.
I thought. Yeah, I know they both did for
the
sure.
thing with
But
the thing with
But
Puka, the
And
thing with
and Puka
Puka,
had
he's like a
more.
quarterback out there.
Puka
Puka's
had more
always in the
catches.
right place.
He had more
Puka's
catches,
always does the right
and
thing.
he had more catches, and was still like 200 yards short and 6 touchdowns short. The thing about I'll take Nico. Nico is a red zone magnet. Red zone
he
magnet. Like
is.
you move
Man,
him all over the
I
place.
might have to. I
I'll
might
take
have to fact check you on this, man. I might have to fact check you
go
on this
ahead.
one.
He had like 200. I mean, I'm not saying like for sure, but it's close like 200 yards and more touchdowns. And he had more catches. Puka had more catches.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Puka good, but I'm sorry. And they
And
look,
plus,
I was ready. Matt to tell you, I was ready to
what?
cut. I was ready to cut on Nico. Not cut him, but I was like, yeah. I was Tank Dell wide receiver one. Like after that first year, I was Tank Dell wide receiver one.
I mean, Tank
They'll
Dell
let
was.
you know that's who was wide receiver one in me.
Yeah,
But of course,
before
last season,
coming
Nico
in
stepped me
coming
up.
into C.J. Stroud's rookie year, Kendall was ready to cut Nico Collins. He,
I
he,
mean, he
he
didn't do it. He didn't do anything. So I mean, why would you say otherwise?
I mean,
Man, he couldn't stay on the
Davis
field.
Mills. Well,
Yeah.
Kendall is a big Davis Mills supporter, so I can't think. But I mean,
Uh,
Davis Mills throwing the ball is pretty bad. So
and
yeah,
y'all see that number 10 right here on the wall, man.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Man,
respect
that's
that.
Hawkins. That's Hawkins. That ain't no Bills.
Well, all right, boy. It's been a pleasure.
yeah,
I'd be happy to do it
I knew
again
you were a little
later
wrong on that though.
later in the future.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
Nico had one more game played and only had 11 more yards receiving than Puka last year. I don't want to hear none of that now.
oh, well, still better.
and,
Hey,
You
and,
tell
and
me Puka's not getting me 11 yards in one game? Come on now.
I'm telling you, I'm pulling a Charlie's playbook. Okay, I'm a little biased.
I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah. Hey,
I
hey.
recognize
No
it.
one said you can't be.
Right.
Hey,
Well,
we'll have to link up again before a Jags Texans game or whatever, and talk it out. And
I think we play
other,
y'all back to back. We play Bus and then we play Jazz, if I'm not
we
mistaken.
do.
it's
So,
gonna be too
It's
early for
early. It's
Texans.
early. It's like
early.
week two,
Week,
2 or
week two,
3.
week
Yeah,
three.
Monday Night
Absolutely.
Football and yeah, week 3. Yep.
Yeah, they dang sure ain't putting the Jags on prime time. That's for sure.
And
Hey,
and and
shoot.
and week 1 and look, week 1 is Puka. So
yeah,
get that out the
We
way.
gonna
we finna
we
see who
gonna have
had a
some
bigger
receipts. We
game.
gonna have some receipts soon.
Absolutely. Well, guys, why
All
don't you
right.
tell us what where we can find you on social media and what you got cooking? That way we can support you guys. I'll start with you, Charlie.
Well, we're on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok under the off the cuff username. You guys gave us the shout out on Twitter. I'd say subscribe on YouTube at off the cuff. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on TikTok.
Yeah, right now we've
Grant.
got shows coming out every Thursday. Come August, we'll be doing back to 2 again. So we'll do our podcast shows every Tuesday, Thursday, and then we'll have full films for YouTube and clips, and then obviously TikToks, all that type of stuff. So we'll be active, that's for certain.
Yeah, if you guys drop us a follow on one of the socials, you'll see our clips. We're good about posting clips from our weekly shows.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
we
about to say,
post. Yep.
y'all fellas are doing a great job. Keep it up. Y'all killing it out there. Glad to see people like you succeeding. So keep it up, the hard work, and thanks for coming on, guys.
Well, man,
Kendall,
thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
us.
what about Kendall? Where we can find you at?
Find me at Here Ken out on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. And yeah, man, dropping videos about boxing and of course basketball, football, So yeah, give me a follow and continue to support the Texas Fan Better podcast. We're gonna continue to go up. The season is almost here, and training camp is here, so content finna be more viral. So yeah.
All right, man, Mr. Crenshaw.
Fifth Ward Crenshaw on all social medias. Keep supporting. Support Grant, support Charlie, support the page. That we all need to, the main thing, we all need to come out healthy this season as a team. And because we always say, well, if this guy was healthy, if that guy was healthy, things would be different. So we need to be healthy, have a great year, and let's turn up.
And you find myself at A1 Day One Texans. Follow the page at Texan Fan Battle. Till then, I have Crenshaw said, a healthy season. Let's get the off season started. Let's get the training camp over with, so we can finally not take a nap on Sunday and watch some football.
Yeah,
I'm
that's true.
in a little
I'll give
weight. So
I'll give y'all boys a tweet like on the public timeline so we can try to follow each other. We'll get all of our Twitters out there at least.
absolutely. Until then, y'all stay blessed. We'll see y'all next week and have a good
See you
week.
guys. Amen.
Absolutely. Yep. God bless y'all.
All right, bless.
Yeah.
I'ma calm down. Once we chop it up, there's an H-Town anthem.